Hi there, happy Friday. Looks like we made it through the week. So I just wanted to come on briefly and talk to you about a tool that I use with myself and with a lot of my clients. I've just been getting a lot of questions on it lately, and I realized that I never made just a general video. So I want to talk about tapping. It's also called emotional freedom technique or EFT. And I've been getting a lot of questions about it lately. So I just wanted to explain, it's a really powerful tool that I use for myself and with pretty much all of my clients. It can be used to help regulate the nervous system. You can use it to uncover old memories, old programming, underlying subconscious beliefs, things that you are unaware of, they're under the surface. It really brings things to the surface that are hidden. And then from there, you can use the tapping to reprogram. First, we clear the triggers with those old beliefs, and then you can reprogram the nervous system by using tapping. So it doesn't happen in one session. It's something really ideally that should be repeated. I use it with clients for pretty much everything. You can use it for pretty much any topic. It could be, money. It could be weight loss. It could be, let's say you're building a business. It could be programming that manifestation of that business, money, things like that. So there are a ton of studies that have been done on EFT, and I'm not really going to go into those too much. You can look them up, but there's a ton of scientific studies, and it's actually been shown to be effective in treating PTSD. So it's really safe. You can do it anywhere. I'm going to just kind of show you how it's done, give you some examples, and then if you have any questions, you can let me know. So there are many, many different tapping points on the body, and you can use any or all of them. The great thing about tapping is there is really no way to get it wrong. You can tap, and if you're a little bit off, it doesn't have to be super precise. So if you're a little bit off, it's not going to be ineffective. So there are many, many different points you can use, and the ones that I use, they really coincide with the Chinese meridian points. So we start on the side of the hand. This is called the karate chop, and you tap, and then when I'm working with clients, I basically speak out loud, and then I have you repeat out loud after me. If you're doing it on your own, you can also do it. The best case is to speak out loud, but you don't have to, and I'll give you some tips on how to do that if you're in a place where you cannot be either speaking out loud or tapping on all these body points. So we start here and we set up a statement, and we say something like, let's say you're working on releasing fear or reducing fear. So you'd say something like, even though I have a lot of fear, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And we repeat something along those lines 3 times. Even though I feel fear running through my nervous system, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have so much fear and anxiety in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And then the points that I like to use are, you have these points here right on, and they're on both sides, just inside of the eyebrow, and then on the side of the eye on this little bone. And then we go under the eye, pretty much like right in the middle of the eye, under where the pupil is. Then under the nose in this little spot here. And then in the chin, this little cleft. And then the collarbone, you can kind of tap or around the collarbone, a little bit underneath it. Again, it doesn't have to be super precise. Those are the points that I usually use, especially on this type of thing where it's on camera. You can go under the arm. Sometimes that can be hard to see depending on the camera point. There are wrist points, there are points on your ankles. You can use any or all of them. And then the top of the head. So you start tapping, you can tap through the points, speak out loud, or you can just stay on one point. So whatever feels best to you. So as an example, using the fear as the example, you've done the setup statement, the karate chop, and then you say things like, I have so much fear. There's so much fear running through my body. And you can use one hand or both hands. It doesn't matter. You can do either side or both. I feel a lot of fear My body feels shaky. I don't like feeling this way. So generally what we do with tapping is we start with what we consider the quote unquote negative statements. And sometimes people are really hesitant to want to voice the negative. They have heard of the law of attraction and they think if I say these things, I will attract them. And actually nothing could be further from the truth. So what we're really doing with these statements is we're telling the truth of how we feel. We're giving a voice to the fear or the anxiety or the doubt or whatever it is that you're feeling, the sadness. This is really good for grief. We don't often get to say how we truly feel, especially when it's these emotions that can be difficult to feel. Sometimes we don't have someone that can just listen to us unconditionally. And so what you're doing is you're just saying these things out loud and acknowledging this is how I feel. So what I find with so many clients is that in and of itself brings an enormous amount of relief. Just to say it, just to acknowledge this is how I really feel. I've been trying so hard to keep it together. I've been trying so hard to stay positive. And underneath the surface, we have these more uncomfortable things boiling. So we let it come up and then it dissipates, just like steam, right? You blow it off and then it goes away quickly. So we start to go through and you can do however long, however many rounds that feels like. Also, if you have a particular story or memory or trauma that you want to work with, you can literally tell the story. So if you're by yourself, pretend that you're talking to a friend or someone that's non-judgmental, someone that's really listening, and you just tell the story and make sure you tap. And it has the same type of effect. Okay? Tapping is cumulative. So the more you do it, the better. It's just like anything when you exercise. If you go lift weights one time, it will be good for your body, but it's of course much better if you do it on a regular basis, right? You get stronger. It's the same thing with tapping. So after you go through this round or several rounds of tapping out these uncomfortable emotions, I'm going to call them, then we can use it to start tapping in what we want. So the best thing to do before you start is, if you can, just take notes and you say fear. You write down all these things, fear, anxiety, whatever it is that you're feeling, and mark them on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most. So what that allows you to do is when you finish rounds, you can go back and re-rate. So also then you decide, what is it that I want? Instead of fear, what would I want? I would like calm, I would like peace, I would like happiness. And for some people, whatever it is that they want feels very far away, very distant from what their current reality is. So a good thing to say, you can say something like, I'm open to feeling less fear. I'm open to having some happiness in my life. I'm open to there being a different way. So if that feels like too much to say, I'm ready to feel happiness and joy in my life, I'm ready to be a beacon of light, then just tap on feeling open and you're going to start to feel your energy shift. Okay, it shifts pretty quickly. And even when you do like a 5-minute tapping round, and I've done this with many people, things shift really fast. Okay, so it's important to acknowledge how it is that you feel right now. It's important to think about what you want, because sometimes we get so caught up in our current situation that we get stuck sort of complaining about where we are and focusing all of our energy on, oh, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling mad. So tapping also is a great thing to do if you feel upset. Let's say you just had an argument with somebody that's close to you. Your body goes into fight or flight. So when you do the tapping, it literally calms your nervous system down very quickly. So even if you can just do like one quick round, it's going to bring those emotions way down. It calms you down. If you have a business and let's say you have to go on a social media live, for example, you have to make a call or a presentation, you're feeling nervous, do the tapping right before and you're going to go into it feeling much better. Okay? At the end, you want to again re-rate all of those feelings and you're going to see that the numbers have likely dropped a lot. Sometimes they'll go down 1 or 2 points, but if you think about on a scale of 1 to 10, even if it goes down 1 point, that's like 10%. That actually is a lot. You can do another round. On rare occasion, sometimes people's numbers actually go up. They start to feel more agitated. It doesn't happen often, but if it does, don't worry. Just do another round or two. What can happen is that sometimes people who are out of touch with their emotions or who have not been able to articulate what those emotions are, when they start to actually get in touch with those emotions, they become more present in their body and become more aware of those emotions. So occasionally the number does go up. If that happens, don't worry. Just do another round and it will go down, okay? So those are the basics for tapping. You can let me know if you have any questions or comments. Is there anything that you already use tapping for? I use it a lot for neutralizing old childhood memories that are still kind of sticking around with me. I use it for manifestation. I use it when I'm feeling really nervous. Oh, and I want to give you a tip. I told you I would tell you what you can do if you cannot be tapping on these points or speaking out loud. So you can actually tap on your little pinky finger. You can do it with any finger, but you can just tap. So let's say you're at work, you have to do a presentation, or you're feeling nervous about something you have to do. You're going to ask for a raise. You can tap on your little finger and in your mind just go through it. Again, the setup phrase is, even though, and then fill in whatever the blank is. I'm afraid to ask for a raise. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And that I deeply and completely love and accept myself is really important, because most of us really don't have that complete acceptance and love for ourselves. So these are a few tips. I hope that it is helpful. Again, let me know if you have any questions about EFT. If you use it, I'd love to hear what you use it for. And if you haven't used it before, give it a try. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to, give you more guidance if you want more one-on-one guidance. It definitely can be helpful to have a guide. I definitely find that I'm able to sort of go right under the surface of what people are telling me are the issues, go just a little bit deeper. And people always have that aha moment when we say something, they go, oh, because it's like, oh, I didn't realize what that was. So I hope this is helpful, and let me know what your questions or comments are. Okay, I'll see you soon.